I bankrolled my brother's wedding, but his bride scorned me and denied my invite, until my +1 crashed the celebration and sparked a twist that left everyone speechless. My name is Mark. I'm 32, the older brother, the designated driver, the moving crew, the guy who knows which breaker, controls the kitchen lights because I labeled it. I fix point-of-sale systems for a living and family problems for free. I'm the one who has the group chat muted but still shows up with folding chairs and a cooler because I said I would. My parents like to say we're traditional. It usually means Evan is the favorite. He's 29, all charm and momentum. He floats. I plan. When he announced he was marrying Laya 11 months after meeting her at a rooftop bar, Mom cried happy movie tears and Dad said, finally, someone with sparkle. I heard, Mark, get your wallet. I did what I always do. I booked tastings. I called vendors. I made a Google sheet color-coded enough to make my eyes water. Laya thanked me with the kind of hug that feels like a receipt, tight, warm, and itemized. Later, she called me handsy with details in a way that sounded like praise and warning at the same time. I told myself to be useful and quiet. We had a rehearsal at the venue, a rehabbed brick warehouse with string lights that make everyone look like a better version of themselves. I carried in garment bags and 2 cases of seltzer, checked on the sound guy, and taped down a cable because no one else saw it as a hazard. Laya arrived 40 minutes late in white sneakers and a blazer that didn't need to try. She kissed Mom's cheek, air-kissed mine, and breezed past. That night, I ironed my shirt, set out my shoes, and put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I wanted 8 solid hours before the storm. I slept badly anyway. Too many people had access to my time in their heads. The next afternoon, I walked into the bridal suite to drop off a steamer like a responsible extra. Laya turned, saw me in the doorway, and her smile snapped off like a light. What are you even doing here? You were uninvited yesterday, she said, flat, like she was talking to a caterer who delivered the wrong trays. The room stopped breathing. 2 bridesmaids froze mid-mascara. Mom coughed a small warning cough. Evan wasn't there. It was just us, instinct and lighting. I didn't match her tone. I keep mine in a drawer labeled calm. Understood, I said. But before I leave, meet my +1, an old friend of yours. There was a beat, the half-second, when your brain searches for a script. I stepped aside. Naomi stepped in. Laya's face did 3 emotions fast, surprise, calculation, denial, then nothing at all. She went silent, took 1 breath, and folded to the rug in a slow, controlled faint, like a curtain closing itself. Someone gasped. Someone said her name twice. Someone dabbed her forehead with a cold can of seltzer. I didn't move. Naomi didn't either. We had been expected, just not wanted. Mark, Mom hissed, eyebrow arched like a hook. What is this history? I said, face to face. I set the steamer by the mirror, nodded to Naomi, and stepped out. I didn't run. I didn't look back. The hall smelled like eucalyptus and hairspray. The string lights hummed. Outside, I checked my tie, took a photo of the sky like an idiot, and walked toward the lot. No raised voices yet, no calls, just the feeling I get when a pipe I've been warning about finally bursts. I didn't say a single word about money. I didn't mention contracts. I didn't touch my phone. I let the first domino fall by itself. If you want to understand why I brought Naomi to a room that didn't want her, you have to know the months that stacked up to that door and the years that trained me to hold it open. Evan was born charming. He could knock over a glass at dinner and make Grandma laugh about it. I was born practical. I'd mop it up. We both got praised, but his applause echoed longer. He's got that spark, Mom would say. Mark's our steady one, Dad would add. Like steadiness isn't a talent that keeps the roof dry. Money was a theme before I had my own. When I was 19, I worked nights in a warehouse and mornings at a coffee place so I could pay tuition. Character, Dad said approvingly, which meant no help. When Evan was 19 and took a gap year to explore, he got a used Subaru with a bow. Safety, Mom called it. We take care of ours. They meant I take care of ours. The first time Evan asked for a bridge was for a deposit on an apartment. The next bridges arrived on schedule, a camera for a YouTube channel that died after 6 videos, a security deposit he forgot about, fees from a job he left because the boss didn't appreciate talent. Mom called these things investments. I called them what the receipt said. Small humiliations formed a slow drip. I'd show up to family dinner with a cheesecake I paid for, and Mom would say, Evan, cut it. Let your brother relax for once, like I'm a guest who wandered into a restaurant. Evan got the big bedroom when we had to move Grandma in for a few months because he needed space to create. My toolbox lived in the hall. When I got a promotion, Mom texted, so proud. Can you take Friday off to help Laya with the seating chart? When Evan met Laya, our family learned a new word, vision. She knows how to fill rooms with it. She talks with her hands and wears clothes that look simple until you see the label. She's quick with gratitude and quicker with one tiny favor. The first month I knew her, I fixed her Wi-Fi, assembled 3 chairs, and took an Uber to rescue her from a weird Lyft driver because Evan was in a meeting. She paid me back with a latte and a kiss on the cheek that left no mark but got remembered later. The engagement was a reel. Evan rented a small boat. Leia cried photogenically. Mom posted, 2 souls, 1 story. Dad wrote, proud father. I turned their 1 story into shared docs and calendar invites. At the first tasting, the caterer slid a folder toward me, not Evan. I didn't tell her to do that. It's just something that happens when you carry yourself like the person who reads the fine print. Leia took the folder and handed it back. Mark loves that stuff, she said. He's our spreadsheet. I sent the first deposits because the venue needed 1 payer, $3,500 to reserve the room. We'll reimburse, Mom said. $1,200 for a band that plays 90s covers with sincere faces. We'll settle up next week, Dad said. $750 for chairs that look like you can't sit in them without thinking about your posture. Just carry it for now, Leia said. Our points card is maxed from life stuff. The for now became a recurring character. After the 4th for now, I started a tab in my sheet labeled Family Wedding, with dates and amounts. A column for return stayed stubbornly blank. I kept it like a weather log because I'm done arguing about rain with people who only go outside when the sun cooperates. Little things escalated. We're doing an adults-only ceremony, Leia said. I nodded. Except for Evan's godson, obviously. I asked where I'd be sitting with work friends. She said, you'll love them. I'd met them once. They called me Mike for an hour. When I asked about a +1, Leia smiled. You don't do +1s, she said. It's so not you. I kept my mouth shut because Evan's happiness looked fragile enough to bruise. Naomi entered like a footnote that became the book. She DM'd me at 1:13 a.m., 2 months before the wedding. We'd met once at a housewarming. She was Laya's old roommate, the one who moved out because she didn't vibe with the neighborhood. Her message was simple. Call me about Laya. It matters. People say call me about someone and it's usually gossip. This felt heavier. We met at a diner near the river on a Tuesday. Naomi wore a hoodie and no makeup and looked like someone who slept with the light on for a month. She slid a folder across the linoleum like I was a bank. Laya owes me $12,800, she said, not counting the utilities she never paid when we lived together. She had receipts, screenshots, a small claims docket number that made my stomach drop. And she didn't just hurt me, she said. She hurt people, vendors, a photographer, a florist. She books, she cancels, she disappears. She names someone else as the payer. Naomi's eyes were tired. You're always listed as the contact now. That's why I found you. Why tell me? I asked. Because you look like the guy who pays, she said. You look like the one they'll call when everything collapses. I called Laya because fairness is a reflex I haven't broken. Naomi says. Naomi is jealous, she said, quick like a tennis return. She wants Evan back. Evan? I asked, because that wasn't in my deck. I mean, Leia breathed. She has a thing for him. It's weird. Please don't feed it. I didn't tell Evan. I didn't know how to drop a grenade without becoming the one who pulled the pin. I did start asking for contracts that said who the payer was. Laya called me intense and told Mom I was making everyone feel poor. Mom called to say, loosen up. It's a wedding, not a tax audit. The week before the date, 2 vendors emailed me invoices I hadn't seen. Final balance due tomorrow. The amounts weren't small. The venue sent a cheerful reminder, we'll run the saved card. The saved card was mine. I called Laya. Why is my card saved? Convenience, she said. You're so good at logistics. Remove it, I said. She hesitated. Don't be selfish, Mark. I laughed, which surprised both of us. Selfish is asking my card to close your ceremony. She hung up. Mom called within 5 minutes. Don't be vindictive, she said. This is your brother's day. It's also my limit, I said. The next day, a text from Laya. Due to tension, you're not in the wedding party anymore. Also, prevent venue capacity. We need to retract your invite. A formal uninvite the day before. Not a conversation, a notice. Evan added, dude, don't make this about you. Please. The please did more damage than the rest. I didn't sleep. I replayed Naomi's folder in my head. Dates, cash apps, borrowed just till Friday, unpaid balances. I saw my sheet. Deposits, due, returned, blank. At 7:15 a.m. on the wedding day, I made a decision I wish I'd made 10 years ago. I would not leave my brother blind if I had a way to turn on the light. Naomi agreed to walk in with me, not to perform, not to fight, just to exist in a room that pretended she didn't. If she lies to your face after seeing me, Naomi said, you at least know what game you're playing. That's how we got to the bridal, sweet doorway, the uninvite, the introduction, the feint. I still hadn't mentioned money to anyone. I still hadn't touched the numbers. I held all of that behind my teeth because I wanted the truth to land on its own feet and walk around where everyone could see it. I walked into the parking lot with the kind of calm that only shows up after you've tried everything else. The sky was aggressively blue. A kid in the next lot was practicing skateboard tricks alone. In my pocket, my phone buzzed with a text from Mom, "Come back now." I didn't. 15 minutes later, Evan found me by the hydrangeas. He looked like a magazine groom and a boy who'd lost 3 years of sleep at once. "What did you do?" he said. "No hello, no hey man, just straight to the damage." "I brought Naomi," I said. "Why?" "Because she's part of your story," I said. "You should know all the chapters before you sign the book." He scrubbed his face. "Laya says Naomi is stalking her." "Laya says a lot of things," I said. "Have you read the docket?" "What docket?" He wasn't playing dumb. He was enrolled in it. I handed him a manila envelope, same kind as Grandma's, different contents, copies of Naomi's filings, screenshots of payment requests, invoices with my email listed as backup contact, 2 vendor emails that said, "We've been here before." I had written dates in pencil at the top like a teacher. He flipped, skimmed, flipped again. His mouth moved once with a word he didn't say. From the side door, Mom appeared like a stage manager. "Mark, fix this," she hissed. "Apologize to Leia. You embarrassed us." I looked at Evan. "This isn't about revenge," I said, simple and slow. "This is about closure." Mom laughed without humor. "Closure? At a wedding? You're cruel. Cruel as letting your son take on a life he doesn't understand," I said softly. The door opened wider. Leia stood there, paler than makeup can fix, her maid of honor fanning her with a program. She saw the envelope in Evan's hands. Her eyes went knife-sharp. "Do not listen to this," she said. "Naomi is obsessed with me. She's always been obsessed. Mark is jealous of us. He's trying to ruin today." Evan looked at me. "Is that true?" "No," I said. "What's true is this. My card is on file at the venue. The final run happens at 4. The florist says we owe them $2,140 because someone added peonies yesterday. The band sent a rider I didn't agree to. And 3 vendors in Naomi's folder have your fiancé on block." "Stop," Leia said, voice sharp enough to scratch my throat. "You're pathetic." "I'm consistent," I said, keeping my tone flat. Dad appeared, tie slightly crooked, eyes on fire. "You will not destroy this family moment," he said, finger out. "I didn't," I said. "You set it on a gas stove and then left the room." The maid of honor whispered to Leia. Leia shook her head. "Call security," she said, eyes never leaving mine. Evan held up a hand. "No." He stared at the papers like they'd learn English if he stared long enough. "Is any of this not real?" he asked Leia. She smiled, the smile I'd seen talk us out of parking tickets and into upgrades. "Baby, please, today? Really? We can talk later." "Answer," he said. "Not loud. Final." Her mouth pressed flat. "Naomi is dramatic," she said. "She lent me money because she wanted to be involved. She's punishing me for boundaries." "Did you add my card to vendors without asking?" I asked. She turned on me. "You offered. You said you wanted to help. I offered to organize," I said. "You used my card because I do what I say." Evan sat on the low wall like someone unplugged him. He was still holding the folder. He looked up at me with eyes that were suddenly 12. "What do I do?" "You don't have to get married today," I said. "You can say, 'Not like this.' You can hit pause. You can keep the parts that are real and throw out the parts that are dead." Mom made a choking sound. "Mark." Dad stepped forward. "Walk away, and you'll regret it forever," he told Evan. "Walk in blind, and you'll pay for it forever," I said. Leia took a step toward Evan, voice honey again, hand on his sleeve. "Baby, do not let your brother take this from you. He's always been jealous. He's always wanted to be the hero. Being the hero is expensive," I said. "I'm retiring from it." Silence sat down between us. The skateboard kid felt thumped. Ronaldo, the venue manager, walked up like he'd wandered into the wrong theater. "We need a decision about the extra tables," he said. "And the bartender wants to know about the open bar in time." Leia seized on it. "See," she said, "real things, not drama. We're getting married today." Evan looked at the ring on his hand, then at the manila folder, then at Leia's face. He stood. He handed me the folder back. "Can I have an hour?" he asked Leia. "Absolutely not," she said. He nodded once, slower than the second hand on a clock. "Then I need one anyway," he said. She whispered something about abandoning her. Mom started crying. Dad started lecturing. I put the folder under my arm, turned to the manager and said, "Please stop all charges on the saved card ending in 2442. The owner of that card withdraws authorization." My voice didn't shake. I expected it to. It didn't. Leia's head snapped toward me. "You can't!" "I can," I said. "It's mine." Ronaldo looked relieved to have a directive. "Let me go check," he said, and jogged away. Leia's face shifted into something I had never seen on it before. Not anger, not charm, not calculation, fear. It looked honest. "Get out," she said to me, voice low and shaking. "Now I'm leaving," I said, "but I'm not saving this. That part is over." I touched Evan's shoulder once. He didn't shrug me off. He also didn't lean. That's okay. It was his hour. I gave it to him. I walked to my car feeling like I'd stepped out of a role on stage, and the understudy refused to go on. In the rear view, I saw Mom grab Laya's hands. I saw Dad point at the sky like it had disrespected him. I saw the bridesmaids pretend to adjust flowers while they texted the group chat. I saw the string lights try to keep the mood from falling and fail. I didn't drive far. I parked 2 blocks away under a tree I used to climb when I was 10. The leaves moved like a crowd breathing. My phone lit up. 30 minutes after I left, Evan called, screaming, "Tell me this isn't true!" "What isn't?" I asked. "Calm is a tool. I keep it sharp. Naomi, the vendors, your card, the peonies, the everything." "It's true," I said. "I have documents. I put them in your email subject line before you sign." He made a hurt animal sound and hung up. I let him. In my banking app, I marked the venue's final payment as disputed and disabled the card on file. I canceled 2 automatic tips attached to the bar tab. I sent a 1-sentence email to each vendor. "I am not the payer. Remove my card from your system effective immediately." I CC'd Ronaldo, so there was a human in the loop. I wasn't destroying a wedding. I was disconnecting my oxygen from a room that had locked the windows. Mom, 12 missed calls. Dad, 8. Unknown numbers, 6. Laya, none. She never calls the help. She calls the story. I turned my phone face down and stared at the steering wheel until my shoulders slid back into their sockets. Then I called my bank's fraud line. "Charges pending at Old Foundry events and Barcraft services in the next 3 hours," I said. "I withdraw permission. Keep the deposit. Block the rest." The rep asked security questions I could answer in my sleep. "We'll flag them," he said. "You may still need to respond to merchant inquiries." "I can do paper," I said. He laughed like that made me old. Ronaldo texted, "Got your note." We paused the final run. "We need a new card to continue service." I typed, "I am not providing one. Direct questions to the couple." He replied, "Understood. Best of luck to all. Hospitality workers should run the world." At 3:11, Ava, one of Laya's bridesmaids, posted a story, a boomerang of champagne and the caption, "Some people can't stand joy." I didn't reply because my life expectancy matters to me. At 3:18, Evan called again, voice raw. She said Naomi made it all up. "Did you call Naomi?" I asked. "Yes," he said, voice small. "She sent me her small claims receipt and a text from Laya that says, 'Please don't ruin this for me.' I didn't say I told you so. He's my brother, not a debate club opponent." "What do you want?" I asked. Silence. Then "I don't know." "You can say not today," I said. "People will be mad. Some will be relieved. You will still wake up tomorrow and you will still be you." Dad texted a wall. "You sabotaged your brother. You embarrassed your mother. You owe us." I stopped reading. I blocked him for 12 hours because I deserved 12 hours. By 4 o'clock, the parking lot had turned into a staging ground. People in dresses walked in circles. The florist rolled the cart back to her van, face blank. The band smoked by the dumpster. The sky leaned toward late. At 4:21, Evan texted, "We're postponing." 1 word later, indefinitely. I put my head back against the seat and stared at the tree until it stopped being a metaphor and went back to being a tree. 5 minutes later, Laya sent her first and last message to me. "You will pay for this." I didn't answer. Consequences are not invoices I accept by text. At home, I hung my shirt on a chair, washed my face, and called Naomi. "You okay?" I asked. She said yes and no, and then yes again. "Thank you," she said. I said thank you back. Not a neat bow, just 2 people who did a hard thing and were tired. That night, Evan showed up at my door with a duffel and eyes like he'd stared at a projector too long. He didn't say anything for 2 minutes. Then, "I'm sorry." Then, "I hate you." Then, "Thank you." I made tea because I didn't know what else to do with my hands. He slept on my couch. He woke at 2:37, 4:12, and 5:06. I didn't try to fix his breathing. I'm learning. In the morning, we ate toast. He looked at my spreadsheet, printed and taped inside a manila folder on the counter, the one labeled Family Wedding. "You kept track," he said. "Not a question. I have to," I said. "Otherwise it becomes story versus story." He nodded like the idea had weight. "I want to pay you back," he said. "Start by not adding my card to your life," I said. It came out harsher than I meant. He nodded anyway. "Okay." Weeks passed. The noise dropped. People get tired when a story stops spinning. Leia posted a statement that sounded like a press release for a company that makes scented candles, choosing to delay until we can celebrate with full hearts. She blocked Naomi. She never tried to apologize to me. That's fine. I'm not a gate she needs to get through anymore. Mom cycled through 3 settings: rage, silence, nostalgia. Dad tried a parable about brothers in a field that made no sense and ended with a request for me to be bigger. I said, "I already am bigger than the role you wrote for me." Then I blocked him for another 12 hours. 12 hours is my tithe to sanity. Evan found a therapist who specializes in detangling. He gave me back the spare key I didn't remember he had. "I'll ask next time," he said. The next time came when he asked me to help him cancel a ring insurance policy that billed to my email. I gave him the number and went back to my coffee. He called himself. The vendors were kinder than I deserved. The florist refunded part of the deposit because you were honest. The venue kept the initial money and waived the rest. I wrote thank you emails like a grandmother with nice stationery. I set new rules and wrote them where I could see them. No shared cards, no just till Friday, no cosigns, no secret heroics. If my name is on a bill, I control the bill. If my name isn't, I don't touch it. If someone says family first, I hear boundaries first. Because if you don't draw them, someone will draw them around you like crime scene tape and call it love. I didn't bring down a wedding. I ended a pattern. That's the part I remind myself when guilt taps like a polite guest at midnight. I didn't make the mess. I stopped paying for it. Here's the line, said once for the record and then lived in small ways. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. Closure looks like hanging up, like removing a card, like not showing up when you were uninvited yesterday, like walking out into a bright parking lot and breathing until your lungs remember how. I hope Evan builds something sturdy that doesn't smell like smoke. I hope Mom learns how to love without playing PR. I hope Dad learns the story where the steady son doesn't have to prove his worth by paying for everyone's candles. I hope Leia pays what she owes to the people she used and stops calling that ambition. But whether they do or don't, here's what I know. I'm done being the automatic funding source, the human contingency plan, the +1 to other people's emergencies. I'll show up when asked with respect, not expectation. I'll keep receipts, not resentments. I'll pick my moments and leave if the room decides I'm furniture. I check my locks, I sleep, I make eggs, I answer calls when I choose to, and when someone says, "What are you even doing here?" I say with a smile, exactly what I need.